Hi everyone, I'm Dustin from Mazama Wellness, and in today's video we're talking about recovery strategies for you to get the most out of your workouts. A very underappreciated and often forgotten aspect of training is recovery. Most of the benefits from exercise come from the recovery process, and therefore it might be the most important aspect of training. Remember, strength training forces adaptation, and that's where the benefit lies. Recovery allows this adaptation to occur, and as such, it must be a priority. So let's talk about some aspects of recovery and how to optimize them. The most obvious part of recovery is taking days off from training and making sure some of those days are restful. Remember that muscle protein synthesis takes 24 to 72 hours, so you need to give a muscle group this amount of time off to complete this process. This doesn't mean that you shouldn't do any activity though. Things like a mobility routine or some walking or light running can actually help with recovery by increasing blood flow to muscle cells, which helps deliver nutrients to the cells and clear away metabolites. Just make sure to keep it light. Another obvious but underappreciated aspect of recovery is nutrition. By now, I'm sure most of you are well aware that protein is important for recovering from strength training, and we'll talk more about protein in the future. But protein isn't the only nutrient to focus on for recovery. Making sure to get enough carbohydrates is important to refill glycogen stores that are depleted by training. Remember, glycogen is the preferred source of energy for your muscle cells during exercise. And despite all the talk about low carb and keto diets, I think carbohydrates are the best energy source for a majority of people. This doesn't mean that you need to go overboard, but having around 50 grams of carbs with each meal is a good place to start, and then increase that amount if you feel like you need more energy. This can be highly individual, so it's good to see what works best for you. But try to get whole grain or whole food sources that include fiber. Also, make sure to eat nutrient-dense foods that include a lot of vitamins and minerals. These micronutrients are crucial to many processes in the body and will help your muscle cells function optimally. Foods like vegetables, fruits, nuts, seeds, sardines, and oysters are all packed with vitamins and minerals. Nutrients like magnesium, iron, zinc, and vitamin D are lacking in a lot of people's diets, and these are some of the easiest deficiencies to correct, and in a lot of cases are the low-hanging fruit in optimizing recovery. It's deceptively simple, but if you get enough protein, like 1.4 to 1.6 grams per kilo of body weight, the right amount of carbs and fiber, and the full spectrum of vitamins and minerals, you're getting like 95% of what you need nutritionally. The rest is just some fine tuning, and it can be really quite simple once you tune out all the noise. A note on fat. I didn't mention fat because it's a subject that needs more depth than what I want to go into here. But fat has a place in a healthy diet, and certain fats are good. Others may be less good, especially depending on your genetics. But again, this is a topic for another day, which I'll cover later on. Another topic that you've probably heard a lot about is sleep. By now, I'm sure you're well aware of the importance of sleep for overall health, and it's no different for recovering from strength training. Lots of hormonal processes and muscle repair happens while you're sleeping, so you should make sleep a priority. Making sure you get 7 to 9 hours is ideal, and even if you miss a night here and there, you should be good from a muscle protein synthesis standpoint. If you have trouble sleeping, try taking some magnesium bisglycinate, 250 milligrams, and L-theanine, like 200 milligrams, 30 minutes before bed, and that should help. Also, make sure to try to have a consistent bedtime and wake up around the same time every morning too. Stress affects recovery from exercise negatively, and I would say is probably one of the worst things for overall health. Stress puts the body in a sympathetic state, think fight or flight, and contributes to all sorts of chronic health conditions. This being said, most people are under some sort of daily stress, whether acute or chronic. So for our purposes here, let's talk about some strategies for helping the body recover while under stress. One thing to be aware of is that exercise is a stress. However, the benefit is in the dose. If you're in a stressful time in your life, then cutting back on the intensity of your workouts is a good idea. Kicking your own butt and then trying to recover during a stressful time won't be beneficial. Evaluate how you're feeling from workout to workout and adjust accordingly. Also, after working out, it's a good idea to do some deep breathing in order to calm down your system and get into a parasympathetic state, rest and digest, for optimal recovery. I recommend laying on the back and breathing for 2 to 3 minutes, really focusing on long exhalations for some nice vagal nerve stimulation. This can be really beneficial for promoting relaxation. One last thing to mention while discussing recovery is heart rate variability. This refers to the variation in the timing between heartbeats, with more variation being beneficial. Seems kind of counterintuitive, but having some variation between your heartbeats instead of a consistent timing between beats is actually beneficial. This variation can show how recovered you are and is an indication of readiness for another workout or how intense a workout should be. This idea has been studied and implemented by reputable institutions like Harvard and has some pretty good research behind it. Personally, I've gone through many months of measuring my HRV using a chest strap heart rate monitor and a mobile app, and I kind of had mixed results. Lots of times the app told me to take it easy when it was pretty obvious that I should take it easy. And then other times it told me to take it easy when I felt really good, and I just ignored it and did a hard workout and felt great afterwards. So in the end, I just decided to check in with myself before each workout instead of listening to the heart rate variability, and that seemed to serve me just fine. So my advice, check in with yourself, really take a minute and try to measure objectively how you feel and then decide how hard you should go for a workout. If you do this, it'll probably serve you just as good as measuring your HRV, and you'll be less likely to overreach during a workout. Strength training and exercise in general isn't beneficial if you don't also allow yourself to recover. Focusing on rest, nutrition, sleep, stress, these things will optimize your recovery and not only make working out more beneficial, but also more enjoyable. Nobody likes grinding themselves into the ground, and luckily this isn't beneficial. You'll see plenty of people online telling you to work yourself to death, but killing yourself isn't exactly the best thing for your health. It's good to push yourself sometimes. It's also just as important to take it easy and recover. And this should be as high a priority as your workouts for optimal results. Thanks for joining me, and make sure to check out our website and our Substack for more good stuff.